Well, happy Sip and Sparkle Sunday. I know it's been a little while, but so glad to be back and have a fabulous guest today who we met fairly recently. Well, I should say we got to know each other more recently. And so I'm going to have him introduce himself and we'll go from there. But first, we always sip. And I'm drinking hot tea today because it's a little chilly, so.
Well, and I have Franconia beer. I'm not ashamed of the shameless plugs here.
Hey.
My design right there, and homage to Iron Maiden.
That's awesome. All right. Well, Zach, why don't you introduce yourself and we'll go from there.
Well, I am Zack Wilson. I am the owner of Cityburgh Studios and Entertainment. We've been around since 2011, and just like anybody else, we've had our highs and lows and all that kind of stuff. We started out as a production company, so our focus at the beginning was mainly creating original content. You have to keep the lights on, so
yeah, that's kind of important.
So we added in marketing. There's two sides to my business. There's the agency side where I work with clients and customers, and then there's the original production side where I do what I love and do the fun stuff.
That's awesome.
Telling stories.
Give me an example of a story that you told recently.
Okay, so one of the series that I'm working on right now and have been for the last year, it's a series called American Hometown. And the idea behind it was simply to go around in my backyard, visit with the unique small businesses and nonprofits that you don't hear about. You kind of stumble upon them, and then word of mouth gets around and everything. So these guys don't have big budgets. My slogan for it at the beginning was, "There's more to Texas than cowboys, oil fields, and barbecue." And I come from Louisiana originally. I come from the New Orleans area, so I know there are, outside of your immediate area, there are preconceptions about what you do, what your life is like. So for me, New Orleans, it's party central and a hop, skip, and a jump over from downtown to the swamp. No. And we don't all talk like Bobby Boucher either. So, so carry that over to Texas, it's the same thing. Everybody just kind of expects we're all riding around on horses with big 10-gallon hats. That's not the case. The idea to get out and show that there's more to this area. There are really some cool places around. So started interviewing a couple of people. I interviewed Cindy Ross that does Gateway Ghost Tours in Louisville, and then Vaughn Daniels at the Comedy Arena down in downtown McKinney. And then it was that week right before lockdowns. I got those two, and then it was like it was shut down. It became a little more for me. Small businesses, I know this, this. We struggled before COVID.
Oh, definitely.
I added the element of the layer of, let's tell that story too. I wanted to get deeper than just saying, here's what I do, here's my business, isn't this neat and cool? I wanted to get into the more human aspect of it. I think the best example of this is the work that I've done with Hugs Cafe, for instance. They have an incredible mission to give adults with special needs opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. They run a restaurant. They also have other programs too, but the start was their restaurant. I mean, they have like practically zero turnover. I mean, their employees stay with them for a long time. And there's a reason, because it's more than just a job. It gives them this opportunity that they wouldn't otherwise have. It gives them that sense of purpose that sense of meaning. I mean, we all want that, but it gives these adults that in particular. It's really like a family. Mm-hmm. Right before they were able to start reopening at 25% capacity, I got the opportunity to go back and talk with Ruth again. Just asked her the question: how did that feel to tell these guys that are depending on you, depending on this job for meaning and all of that?
Yep.
How did that make you feel? So, spoiler alert. I mean, it
yeah.
hurt.
Well, we won't say any more because we want to have people watch it. But
right.
Yeah, I mean, you brought in a really great perspective. So as awful as COVID has been, you were able to kind of dive deeper and really show what's going on.
It's a side of the story that no one's talking about. I got some Paranormal Activity and I geeked out about that. I was a little aside story here. I always wanted to have a paranormal experience. And I do tell the story, self-deprecating a little bit. The one that I thought that I had one, it was my wife and I went to the Myrtles in Louisiana. The Myrtles is supposed to be like the most haunted plantation. Did the tour, got all the creepy ghost stories and everything. We get to the end of the tour where everybody is lined up along this long dining room, dining tables in the middle, and they're closing out the tour. And then all of a sudden, I get this cold draft. You know, it's what they talk about, right? The cold draft and everything. And standing next to me, and I kind of nudge her, and I said, I got a cold draft. I got it. And she looks down, and she says, "You're standing on an air vent." You know, so
funny.
So you can understand why I was just so thrilled when I.
Yes. You actually had a paranormal experience. You'll have to check out that video too.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what are some of your business goals for this year?
So again, my business is twofold. I have the agency side, and then I have the original content side. But it all really revolves around networking. And obviously, the cornerstone of my business is going to be video production, multimedia, animation, those sorts of things. But I also do other ways where video touches, like social media management. I do work on websites, but if I'm going to be honest, if I work on a website, I want to talk with somebody who wants to get a little deeper than just the facade, but go into how they want that website to really work for them and maximize their business model. But also in the digital space, I work with clients on e-learning development too. Okay. On the agency side of things, I would like to talk with small, medium-sized businesses that are looking to do something a little different. They're not looking at the competition and saying, I want to do exactly that. Or they're not seeing the latest trendy thing and saying, oh, I got to jump on that. Because let's be honest, everybody doesn't need a Pinterest and a TikTok. It all boils down to who the target is, and that's
to attract. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And in that space, especially in the social media space, it's really targeted more towards the younger generation, the 30s, 20s, and the millennials and the Gen Zers.
Exactly.
And what they don't want the hard sell. That generation responds more to you. You're selling you. They're looking for the genuine connection. Working with a client or clients that understand that they need to reach all of these demographics. They need to do things differently for millennials and Gen Zs.
Right.
But they also need to speak to our generation, the Gen Xers and the baby boomers. I really do enjoy working with clients more closely. And that's why I say small to medium-sized businesses, because it gives me an opportunity to mentor them. And understand what their core really is, what they're trying to get. I can offer them something that's more personalized. And then on the other side, the people that I would want to network with and connect with on the original content side, I'm looking for people who would be interested in partnering with me in the sense of maybe they want to have their story told, like in the American Hometown series, or maybe they just love the idea of that and they want to advertise or have their brand associated with a story like that and would like to help me produce it through a sponsorship.
Well, Zack, this has been so fun, and there's so much more to learn about you. So I'm doing a part 2 on this. So for our viewers, so very excited for our viewers to learn more about you in the next week's episode. So we'll stay tuned, but real quickly, for those who are piqued, if their interest has been piqued by this episode, quickly tell your contact information.
Sure. You can always check out my website. It's cityburgh.com. It's cityburgh.com. You can also contact me by phone, 214-554-2526, or send me an email. It's Zack, Z-A-C-K, Wilson, W-I-L-S-O-N, no spaces or dots, at cityburgh.com.
Well, to our viewers, be sure and stay tuned because we have lots of fun, interesting facts to learn from Zack next Sunday. So until then, may you sip and sparkle, and we will continue next week. Have a good week.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.